As an anchorman with a mustache, I have to tell you this. You may not know this, but this next guy's kind of a big deal around here. You know, rarely do you get a chance to meet someone and become great friends with a guy who can be called a visionary and an icon at the same time. But that happened to me about 25 years ago. That's how long I've known Tillman Fertitta, and we here in Houston are so fortunate to have him call this city home for all these years. Tillman Fertitta exemplifies the characteristics and has taken those characteristics and his drive and his savvy, and he has turned that into a billion-dollar empire. From a self-made local restaurateur, he has created a global brand, and he has also created an international success story. All this from a kid who sold gum out of his briefcase in 3rd grade at school. No kidding. He is bold and he's brash, you know that. But he's also been investing his time and his talent and his money to the betterment of those around him and here in the city of Houston. He led our Rockets to the Western Conference Finals. Just last year, he led the opening of the Fertitta Center at the University of Houston. He has countless charities he personally supports, and many more he supports through the Clutch City Foundation. He serves still as chairman of the Board of Regents at U of H. Last year, he also opened up his new Post Oak Hotel, and he continued to star in his own TV show, The $1 Billion Buyer, on MSNBC. He continues to exude that charisma and that charm, and he's inspired so many of those around him. But you know Tillman, whatever he touches seems to turn to gold, but it's always fun and it's always exciting. He has that Midas touch, and he has just really been an incredible guy for this city of Houston. And he has also taught his kids the way so that they can continue on with his legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, our Executive of the Year.
I kind of went through my life and I got to a point where I said, gosh, the one thing that I never got to accomplish was owning a team in my hometown. It was a hard, long process, but we got to the finish line. My family's committed to 2 things, a championship for the Houston Rockets and a championship for the Houston Cougars in the future. We got this big guy right here and a lot of other great players. Let's have a great year. Congratulations, James, for last year. So I never say die.
Tried to shoot. Crossover. Up, under, and in. And Houston wins it.
What a night this is for the University of Houston. And the Cougars look for a signature start to their brand new building. Oregon needs a shot quickly. Pritchard at 3. No. Ball tipped around into the hands of Davis. Houston wins. The Cougars open the Fertitta Center in style.
Tillman has made a difference with the Rockets. He's also making a difference with the Cougars. When we went over there, we said we want to chase championships, and we're on our way.
King, his quickness to the outside. There goes King. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown.
It's gonna go Rockets have to score. Hart with a 3. It's my gun. I mean one. It's my only weapon. I mean one. See, my heart is my gun.
You know, whenever Tillman and I were sitting on the porch of his ranch, or when I was kicking his butt on the tennis court, don't say anything to him, he's really slow, terrible backhand. He'd talk about his dreams. He was telling me, you know, I'm going to own hotels and restaurants and casinos around the world, and one day I'm going to own the Houston Rockets. So I thought, how much more fitting could it be tonight than to have one of the greatest Rockets, the greatest Rocket of all time, Tillman's friend, introduce him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Akeem the Dream Olajuwon.
Thank you. It's my honor to present the Executive Year Award to my good friend, Tillman Fertitta.
Hakeem, that's it?
That's it.
I mean, you're not going to talk that I've sold a few hamburgers too on a grill or anything? But, you know, the one person, I'm very fortunate to be here because when I sit here and I watch Jackie Burke and I watch Dan Pastorini and I watch George and I watch A.J. Foyt, and that's when I was like in junior high school, and these were just the guys that being a Houstonian you looked up to so very, very much. And I'm up here tonight twice, and I truly have done nothing whatsoever, and I do not belong up here. And but I thank the Houston Sports Authority and the Houston Sports Award for it. It's a great honor to just contribute to your city, and I'm the luckiest guy because I got to watch Elvin Hayes in the 1968 game, and then watch him go to the San Diego Rockets. And we didn't have a basketball team in Houston, and I'm in 7th grade, and the San Diego Rockets are moving to Houston. That Rockets deal was just a coincidence that this is where NASA is. And they moved to town, and I became a Rocket fan. And for many, many years, my family has gone to so many, many games. And you'd be surprised, very few people get to own a sports team in their hometown. Most teams are owned by people out of town. And I feel so fortunate to be able to do it. And I can remember a couple of weeks before we thought we had the deal, and I sat down with my family and I said, can y'all think of any better place to spend $2 billion? What else would you rather spend money on than that? And I can tell you it was a family vote, and it was unanimous over and over. We couldn't think of anything else to do with $2 billion. So, but once again, I love Houston. I love giving back to Houston. What an honor it is to be up here with all the great athletes and people that have done so much because I've done so little. Tom, thank you for your friendship. Hakeem, thank you for the 2 great world championships that you brought us as I was sitting there with Charlie. Thank you all very much, everybody in Houston.